direct adaptation of the 1988 NES classic, Bionic Commando Rearmed follows the adventures of a soldier named Nathan "Rad" Spencer as he tries to rescue his best friend, Super Joe Gibson, from the evil Imperial forces led by Generalissimo Kilt, and to stop the culmination of the Empire's efforts to resurrect Project Albatross. Nathan has a little extra edge to him, though. Simply put, he has a grappling hook for an arm that makes this, even now, one of the most original platformers to date. Hey there everyone, this is Ray Carcillo for Classic Game Room, and if you played the original Bionic Commando 2 decades ago, then Rearmed is much like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time reshelled. It is a perfect representation of the original game, just with updated graphics, sound, and a few tweaks given to the gameplay. The graphics for Rearmed is clearly the most obvious difference as you work your way through a beautifully detailed 2.5D world that brings those original levels to life in a way never thought possible. Along with the redesigned levels, the enemies and even Nathan himself looks better than ever, especially in the humorous cutscenes where we see Nathan's cockiness come through in both speech and the brilliant still renditions by famous Japanese artist Shinkiro. The remastered theme song for Bionic Commando also helps to immerse you in a feeling of pure nostalgia, as it still carries some of those great 8-bit tones to it. Aside from wanting to replay a childhood classic, or maybe introducing it to a new generation though, Rearmed also offered Capcom a chance to tweak and add some elements that were never in the original game, including some great new grappling hook physics. In Rearmed, Spencer can now use his grappling hook to snatch both barrels and enemies, and use them as shields or weapons as he moves his way through the levels, as well as pull himself into tight horizontal spaces. Another key addition to the gameplay is the ability to switch between weapons on the fly, instead of just between levels, allowing for the element that certain enemies are weaker against one type of weapon than another. Along with this, the health system has been upgraded to use a more efficient bar system instead of earning hit points like in the original game. This also allowed for enemies being able to drop health across the levels. The most telling additions to this game, though, are in the challenge and multiplayer modes. In challenge mode, you can put Spencer through a series of time trial obstacle courses that will put your grappling skills to the test. There's also now a local co-op and versus multiplayer. The co-op mode allows for a second player to play as a soldier that assists Nathan on his mission to save Super Joe, and there's an entirely different AI for the game's bosses to adjust for that second player, although the level layout and design remain the same. The versus modes include your standard last man standing match, and a King of the Hill type match that involves knocking your opponents into hazards located at the bottom of the level. And if that wasn't enough, when you purchase this game, it also includes codes for new weapons and player skins for the Xbox 360 Bionic Commando sequel that came out almost a year after this was released at the Xbox Live Arcade. When you consider how true Rearmed stays to the original 1988 Bionic Commando, while giving it a facelift in terms of minor gameplay tweaks and atmosphere, and this is a must-have for any fan of the original game. I just wish that in the gameplay editions, they would finally allow us to jump.